Much better. Oh, we are live. We are live. We are live. All right. Hello. How are you guys? What is up? What is up? Hello. Hello. How are you? Let's give us a good. Perfect. 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 Put my phone on D&D so we get no interruptions, no distractions. I have my coffee, even though it's almost 6 o'clock, and we are about to get started. All right. We are about to get started. Hello, hello. I'm Cornisha. I am your purpose and personal development coach. And I'm popping in today with more insight, more information on what to do when starting a business, how to maneuver, and give you guys the level of reassurance that we may not always get. I say it all the time. We may not always get the reassurance we need in this lonely journey. So in that, I want to make sure I'm here for you guys. I'm supporting you guys and giving you the tools and resources that I needed when I got started. So I have my other laptop right here and we're about to get into it. So today's topic, as you can see, is about startup costs and monthly operational fees. So primarily, I decided to talk about this simply because I know there were multiple instances where I had a certain amount of a certain startup fund and I did not properly manage that money. I did not properly budget. So in mismanaging my funds, I fell short and I had to reap the repercussions of falling short. And if there's anything I can do or say to help you guys not have to endure that for yourselves, then I will. So that's why I'm here. That's why we're discussing this and we're getting started. So, when starting a business, ideally, it's best to start with a concise plan, budget, and foresight for your finances. Having realistic insight regarding the initiation cost of your business will allow for you to keep a tight rein on your cash flow, and it will reduce the risk of exhausting your resources before you're even operational. Plenty of times there's been businesses start and they have these funds, they're putting their all into marketing, they're putting their all into graphic design. A month later, 2 months later, when the monthly maintenance fees, the monthly operational fees are, you know how bills are, they don't stop for anybody, they roll around on the first regardless. So because of that, when those are rolling, we can get caught up with mismanaging our funds, mismanaging. And I don't want to see anyone else fall victim to that. I've been there, done that. It is not fun at all, especially when you have to deal with self. So here are key questions you'll need to consider when planning your startup or initiation funds. So we're gonna get into it. Okay, there's a few things you need to consider when wanting to start. How much money is required to start the business? How long will it take before profiting in business? What cash flow is needed to maintain your business? How soon will the business generate a positive cash flow? Where will you actually get the funding? There's a lot of questions to be answered. Where will your customers come from? Who are your customers? What's your target audience? What's your niche? What's that ideal product that's going to be your money maker that everybody's going to buy? How long will it take for you to see a return on your investment? Would you have to outsource graphic designing, web creations, or is that something you can do yourself? How do you plan to market your business? How much will the marketing cost? And would this be your only source of income, or do you have other reliable income monthly? Now, because your business is yours, you want to be as knowledgeable and truthful with yourself in planning and budgeting. So, with that, having the answers to all of these questions will help you develop the required mentality to budget accordingly. If you know you have deficiencies in finance management, managing your money, overspending. If you know you have deficiencies in those areas, that's fine. Create a budget, make sure the funds aren't easily tangible, and make sure that you can budget them accordingly and have some left over. I don't want to go too far ahead because I know there's other things in the notes, but you want to make sure you're able to budget accordingly. It's unfortunate that some businesses start off in debt simply because they mishandled the funds, and you do not want to do that. You don't want to fall victim to that. I'm blessed to say I'm a survivor of it, but some businesses, some companies, some entrepreneurs don't easily bounce back. So because of that, that's why it's important to know, is this your only income source? Because if it is, you want to be even more tedious and even more structured with that budgeting fund. So be mindful of that for sure in your process, okay? So, if your customer is in their 20s or 30s, you may not have to spend as much on traditional styles of marketing and could focus more on the social media marketing. That will result in you having extra funds. If your business is your only source of income, it's ideal. I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself in my notes. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, if your business is your only source of income, it is not at all ideal to buy extra inventory, unnecessary inventory, or outsourcing certain things that you don't have to outsource, and you know you could do it yourself. So in that, I know for sure sometimes we don't want to do the work. I know for myself, I launched this Friday. This week alone, I've had so many, hey, let's do this, hey, let's do that. And trust me, if I was able to delegate some of this stuff and pay for it to get delegated so I could go on and live my best life, I would. But that's not ideal for my budget. That's not ideal for my initiation fund. So because of that, I had to humbly decline and make sure I did my graphic designing. I had to humbly decline and make sure I planned my marketing. And in that, genuinely, yeah, it may seem frustrating initially, but it's a return on your investment waiting on you. It's just up to you to do the work. It's up to you to want to see yourself in that level of abundance, in being that entrepreneur. You got to see it before you see it, or you never actually get to it. You never actually see it. And I don't want that to be any of you guys. So make sure you're properly managing that fund. Now, being able to answer some of these questions, like I say, is more than just about the startup costs and monthly maintenance costs. It's about developing the mindset required to ensure longevity in your success. Like they say, you could give a man $1 million, but if he hasn't changed his mindset, he'd still be broke in a year, if not sooner. So because of that, please make sure you're shifting your mindset while you're preparing and putting in all of this work. That's why, and the importance of that is so real. That's why I not only have the entrepreneurial series, I don't only have the scaling your business series. I also have the series for personal development and self-evaluation, because if you don't self-evaluate, recalibrate, and transition your mindset, you will fall short and fall back into the same rabbit holes that you've been in, that kept you financially bound, that kept you with the stagnant mindset, that kept you with the stagnant level of effectiveness. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're effective, you're diligent, and you're actually putting in the work as often as required to ensure your success. Okay. So with that, that's not at all, again, what I want for you guys. So be realistic with budgeting your funds. Now, when managing your budget and planning your budget regarding inventory, equipment, supplies, things like that, you should consider a few things, okay? First, consider the things that you're purchasing, the items that you think you so desperately need. Does this duplicate something I already have? How often will I actually use this? There's been plenty of times that I've bought something and realized it's of no use to me. It's of no use to me. Truthfully, I just told someone today, I'm like, don't worry about where to start and where you're going to end up, because where you start may not be where you end up. And that's absolutely okay. For myself, I know that's true because I started last year thinking I was going to sell hair. I was coming up with strategies to make sure I was setting myself apart in my industry. But that was my plan, to sell hair. Now I have a boatload of packaging sitting right here in my office simply because I literally shifted gears. Now I'm doing digital products, and that doesn't consist of me using that packaging. So now it's setting. So definitely take your time to think about whether you need these things or not, whether they're necessities or not. It'll save you in the long run. And remember, once that money is gone, it's gone. Unless you have an abundance of resources, there is no getting it back. So I want to make sure we use it as cautiously as possible. You have to think, could I really do without these items? I've been there. I know it's hard, but hit rock bottom, that's hard. So definitely think about whether you need those items or not. What's the worst that could happen if I don't have this? This will really give you the ability to be fruitful and multiply with what you have. So I definitely encourage you guys to ask some of these questions because they will help you during your journey. Is there anywhere else I could get this item for less? What am I likely to use this for? How long will this last me? Will this truly help my business? Is the risk or reward worth the cost of purchasing this item? Those are questions that will really help you in weeding out whether you need these things or not, whether they're necessities or not, whether you can go without them or not. And like I say, effectiveness is key. Once the money's gone, it's gone. And I don't want to see that happen to you guys. Lastly, when starting a business and planning the use of your initiation funds, you want to consider the monthly maintenance of your business. Now, this is crucial. I know I say everything's crucial, but this one's crucial. Here are key questions you want to have answers to when planning the use of your initiation fund. All right, so how much does it cost to run my site monthly? How much are the monthly bills, the phone, the internet, the electricity? If you work from home, if you don't work from home and you actually have an office building, how much is the rent or the leasing fees for that? How much do you intend to spend monthly on marketing and advertising? How much will you intend to spend monthly on giveaways or brand ambassadors? I know those are parts of marketing, but I want to be specific because sometimes you never know what you have to do to get that business off the ground. Maybe you have to give away a few freebies. Maybe you have to sponsor some things for some folks. That's absolutely fine. And truthfully, I believe in serving, which is another topic that I'll be discussing really, really soon. So, when dominating and serving your industry, these are things you have to do in order to make room for yourself in those industries. So, please consider these questions. Again, is this your only income source, or do you have other monthly reliable income? Either way, it's better to save while you can, because when it's gone, it's gone. There's no getting it back unless you have other resources. So, when you're budgeting your initiation fund, you want to make sure you can cover a few months of operations or maintenance expenses. This will give you a more solid foundation to your start, and it will allow for you to actually see your profits sooner, because you're covering you have foresight. You're covering monthly maintenance fees that don't have to come out of the profit that you're getting. So you know how it is in a rat race. You go a few steps forward, then you get knocked a few back. Then you go a few forward and you get knocked a few back. I don't want that to be you guys' process, simply because you're making profit some months, but you didn't plan how you were going to actually maintain the business for those first couple months that the profits actually just balance out the maintenance fees. So consider those things. I know this is a lot. I know it's hard. Financing in general is hard. So in that, I want to give you guys a good setup as far as that. I may launch a financing course right now. The courses that I have available starting Friday is marketing. I have a projections package, which consists of income projections, growth projections, profit projections, and projections-based marketing. Projections-based marketing is a tool that is not commonly heard of, typically, or a tool that's not commonly used, I'd say. Typically, people market just to promote themselves, but they don't really consider a few factors that's needed in marketing and in projecting your finances for your business in general. So if you operate your business with your goals in mind, that will give you a greater setup for success. And that's really what projections-based marketing is. So when you track your spending, you know, like when you're in business and you're wanting to be specific about your budgeting. You want to be specific about your financing. When you track your spending, you know where your money goes, and you can ensure that your money is used wisely. So tracking your expenses will allow you to understand why you're in debt, how you got there, and this will help you design a better strategy of getting out of debt in the future. So that's what I have for you guys in this video. You can definitely expect more to come. I'm actually in the process. I wanted to pop in just to show my face and say, hey, I haven't fallen off. I'm just planning the launch and I'm doing a few things. The rest of my night will be spent recording YouTube videos for the rest of the week. So trust me, I'm making room for you guys too. Like I say, I do it for you. I do it for me. I do it for us. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be saving this live. And that's all. Thank you guys.